Hey everybody, Mr. Wade here. Happy Thursday to all of you. Wanted to take a few minutes today to kind of get you introduced to the subjects that I will be teaching to you, reading and English. And in case you didn't know that, this whole area of study is called ELA. And I'm talking about my 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, many of whom I still haven't met, but I'm looking forward to that fairly soon. So, why don't I start with telling you a little bit about reading? First of all, most of the time, 30 to 35 minutes on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Now, I know some of you guys are familiar with Epic. Um, it's a website that you used to do some pretty interesting reading last year, and we're going to definitely be doing some assignments dealing with Epic. And then there's one called Newsella, or News ELA, and that has a lot of pretty interesting topics to explore. And then when we actually get into reading some novels, like maybe The Giver, I've been thinking about, or The Outsiders, or Hatchet. How about one of the Narnia books, like maybe The Horse and His Boy? Or a really interesting book to read is Touching Spirit Bear. At any rate, we will also then be doing some work with audio ebooks as we get further into this school year. What are some of the Newsella and Epic articles and stories that I've been exploring? Well, there's lots of animal stories, one about skunks, peacocks, of course, horses. We're going to do some reading about the Greek gods and King Tut and treasure hunts. Um, very first story we're going to read is actually going to be a fairy tale. Some of you have maybe read it before, but I'm kind of excited about starting with that next week. Stories from other cultures are always fascinating. There's some stuff that's been written about coronavirus and some fun things that you can be doing during this pandemic. Wizards, skateboarders, faraway places. There's just tons of interesting things topics to read about and to explore. And so that's what we hope to do on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in your reading class. The other class that I'm looking forward to teaching you is English. Um, my wife is an English and reading teacher, and she's really smart with all this stuff. So I'm just trying to keep up with her. I actually used to work as a sports writer for a local newspaper, and I grew to understand how important it is to be able to handle things like sentence structure and punctuation, proper capitalization, basically, just how to write good sentences and paragraphs. And then, of course, we'll be spending quite a bit of time learning the parts of speech. And I often laugh about some of the things that kids do or don't remember from the previous school year. Like, is the word bat a noun or a verb? Ah, trick question. It's both. Noun, it's a bat, like a bat that flies around at night, and verb, to bat the ball. So there's all this stuff we're going to have to review, the parts of speech. I often laugh at some sentences that kids write. Here's a pretty funny one. It's got something called a dangling participle. See if you can figure out what's wrong with this sentence. Mother handed out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to the kids in Ziploc bags. Whoa. Wait a minute. You mean there are kids in Ziploc bags? No, it was just the wrong word order. Mother handed out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in Ziploc bags to the kids. Here's another one. At the park, I noticed my neighbor was walking her dog in heels. You mean to tell me that her dog was wearing high heels? Of course not. At the park, I noticed my neighbor wearing heels who was walking her dog. And so you see, just learning to be um, fluent readers and above average writers would be our goal in reading in English in the ELA subjects at our school. So, what can you expect? Notice on the right side of the screen, I would expect that every day on Edmodo, you'll have 8 to 12 questions, give or take, to follow up on the reading assignment that you had. Once again, feel free to contact me or Mr. or Mrs. Colander. We're quite the team. We're excited to get to know you. We have some wonderful things in store for you this school year. Obviously, COVID has intervened in our ability to get to meet you, but that will come in due time. And God knows all that too. And we just wait patiently as the coronavirus, hopefully sooner than later, becomes a thing of history. Please take care, and we will be in touch with you again tomorrow.